everybody, it's Tom here. Welcome back to my shop and part 3 of the jib crane build. So we over here at the saw where most of the projects start, and I gotta cut down this thick wall tubing which runs as a support to those side wings, we'll call them. So let's get started. And of course it's toy time. Gotta exercise the big bad shop dog. You ready, buddy? Pew. Gonna be a warm one today. I'm going from the 70s to gonna be probably low 80s today. So summer's right here. This is the thick wall tubing I was talking about. Now once this is done, we'll drill it out to tap size, and we'll tap 3/4 10. Well, what do you think? Should we break out the big old Greenfield number 8? Do some hand tapping? Yeah, I think that'll work. You guys see that old US government? And we'll need the handle. Set up in my big old Prentice vise with a V-block, so hopefully it won't turn on us. I mean, this is the way I used to do it when I was doing tie rods and drag links for vehicles. Just got to get her started straight. That'll be smooth sailing after that. I need to punch a couple holes in the plate. So this bar will go under there. Bolt will go through it. Get some ears on because it's noisy. Over here at the mill, taking a little bit of a detour. So on that last video, part 2, you guys left me a lot of great comments and I appreciate it. I read every one, and you guys do leave me tips and tricks. And in this case, I got a tip from Max, which I am going to follow. He pointed out, which is, important. Ideally, I would like to use a piece of 1045 here. I just didn't have a big chunk in the size I needed, so I used 4140. And of course, 4140 machine's great, but it's not, your first choice if you're going to weld on it. I did obviously preheat, and I did allow, a nice long post heat, let it cool down slowly, but you still have the potential for cracks developing. So for added assurance, we are going to add a mechanical fix here too. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put some threaded holes through here, and we're going to run some grade 9 1/2" 13 bolts down into here. So just in the off chance of somehow a crack would develop, and we don't want that race support housing separating from this main piece here. So thanks, Max, I appreciate the suggestion. So that's what we're going to do. Have to pardon my hands. So I got one done. I'll go ahead and knock the rest of them out off camera. No need to watch me drill and tap more holes. And then we'll get the plate over to the welding table, so you guys will meet me over there. Gonna go handheld. So I think we are ready to weld this thing up. I hope it's making sense to you now that it's coming together. So, the bottom part is here up at the top, and the top part is here at the bottom. That's where the bearing race is, where that rides on the bearing. I just have it covered up, keep the weld spatter out. And I've got her sitting on 1, 2, 3 blocks, 2 inches tall right now, so we've got plenty of clearance. And that piece there, I just welded on temporarily to keep this thing from moving on me. So I'm going to start welding, and I'll just you know, get short video clips as I go along. And I've got to do the front two. That's going to be angle iron, so I got to get that prepped up and ready. Like I said, I'll just keep on welding and keep on going, and I'll keep getting clips for you guys. So just hang tight and enjoy the show. Gotta get this angle cut. And we gotta give Chaos some love. You ready, buddy? That's why we call it a cigar. See how he holds it? Like he's smoking a big stogie. What you got, bud? Why you want to drop it over there? You're killing me. Come on. You know how to play. Right here, buddy. Right here. Yeah. Right here. Hi. So you guys that are new to the channel, this is Mr. Chaos. The wide open shop dog. Right, bud? Yeah. I figured it'd be easier to punch the holes over here at the mill than to do it with the mag drill with this piece of angle iron already welded up. So we'll just get these holes drilled real quick. Oh, my, that ain't gonna work. Come on now, T. Why can't you get up here? Damn. Thank you. Phew. Shit. Well, she's starting to come together. I was able to kind of manhandle it off the welding table using the lift cart. And you saw me drill those two holes already, so I got it bolted. I just got to figure out my front holes. But there you go. We'll do a back shot here so you can get full length. Kind of see how she's coming together. So once I get these holes done, heck, we'll get this thing up there, and then I gotta figure out building the rollers right here, you know, how much depth I'm gonna need off the front of this thing. Won't be able to do that till I get it on there, so I can make sure obviously it's straight with the column. But yeah, that's pretty cool, making progress. because of the ceiling light. I think the fork here is going to hit it. Won't be able to pull it forward far enough. Might be able to come over, take the other button, move the fork up over this way. Alright, let's try this again. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I couldn't clear my light up there, that UFO light, but I think I can get by it now. Finally. Boy, that took some fiddling. Moved the column and had to get readjusted 2 or 3 times to try to get a bite, because I know the light may be blowing out, but the problem is the top of the carriage there's, you know, I'm either hitting a purlin or a light or something. And then I had to take this spreader bar off. She doesn't look too bad. She rotates nice. Not too bad for counterbalance. I did pretty good just looking at the internet and estimating. So cool. I mean, this is actually right there because I've got the weight off of the straps up there. So all we need to do is figure out, you know, the rollers that are going to go right here. So, but sorry about the crappy light and the wiggly camera, but it's the best way to do it is to show it, do a walk around. Okay. So you just saw me prep these rollers. They've got a chrome outer surface, so that'll give us good wear properties. That's why I chose them. They got a little bit of rust pitting, but I think they'll work just fine. I just cut them down a little bit and cleaned them up, which is what you just saw in the previous clips on the Monarch. So one's going to go here and the other one's going to go right there at that line. The cutter's in the way right now, so we are going to punch a couple 3/4 holes with the annular cutter. Gonna go handheld, but I got the bracket all ready to weld up. I didn't bother filming punching all the other holes in the bracket. You didn't need to see that. So let me get this all burned in, and then I'll bring you guys back once it's in a complete condition. Alright, not sure where I left off. GoPro cut off on me. So we got to get this up and inside the carriage against the column and get these holes marked, so we can get them drilled. Let's see if I can do this holding the camera. So here we are. And then she rolls. Let's put a little bit of weight on her. I think that'll work good. And then see if you guys can see. So I just center punched those 2 holes. So once I drill those 2, then obviously that'll locate the other 2. So I think now it's just time to get this thing back down onto the ground. All right, let me get it flipped over and I'll get the other side done now. There it is, bolted in. Not sure how well you'll be able to see this with the light, but so that's that side, and then come over here. So, we are on the money. You know, you always worry, trying to drill from the opposite side and then transfer, that you're going to get off a smidge, and then those smidges start to add up into, sizable amount of measurements. But we are good. So, we're really pleased about that. So I think next what I'm going to do, unfortunately, even though it's sunny right now, we are kind of in a sun and rain last 10 days or so. You know, we had some rain about 2 hours ago, and then of course another cloud will pop up, and then it'll rain for 20 minutes, and then it'll go away, and it'll just continue that cycle. So I'd like to get this stuff out, prepped and painted, but I'm gonna have to wait at least a few days. So we'll see how it goes. So I think what we're going to do then is just kind of go out of sequence. I think what I want to do, I want to go ahead and get this in place, and we can go ahead and get the holes drilled. And I have got the threaded rod and nuts and whatnot to anchor this in, and the concrete adhesive. So we can go ahead, I think, and get started on this that way, and then we'll just paint, you know, lastly, instead of having this painted, bring it in and then drill the holes. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think the last thing to do, what I want is to put a couple of grease zerks into the bolts that retain the rollers. That way we can grease the rollers. So this is a quarter 28 thread. So we're going to go in about 2.5 inches, fingers crossed. It shows grade 5 bolts to make my life easier. Grade 8s would be tough. I'm going to start with a stubby first, give me the best chance. Alright, that worked, no issues. Let's get our 0 set. Doesn't take much. I can hold her straight. Alright, that'll work. Cool. Alright, touchdown. There we go, all done. That should work out just perfect. Get that grease down in there. So those rollers will roll nice, or as nice as they can. Well, I am happy to announce that all the fab work is done. So, you know, we got the I-beam. I welded on a end cap over here. I don't think I filmed it, just to make sure the trolley and the chain hoist don't go off and go crashing down. Got the holes drilled in there, back plate, hole into that, so she's good and solid. And you just saw me fab up the roller bracket, which goes inside. I'm calling this the carriage, and of course the carriage is done. So if we could just get some nice weather, I could get everything painted. So I've just got it staged here. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and work on getting the holes drilled into the concrete. Cross my fingers I don't hit any rebar, and if I don't, then I'm going to go out and buy some lottery tickets, because I mean, that's 14 holes that have a chance to hit rebar, so we'll see. But yeah, we get sun, and then 2 hours later it rains, and then the sun's for a while, and then it rains again. I mean, Mother Nature is blessing us, but I just need like 2 nice sunny dry days so I can get all this stuff outside and prepped and painted. So a little bit of a holding pattern. So I'll go ahead and get the holes knocked out here, and I guess with the magic of video, you'll see me getting this stuff prepped and painted. And like I said, it's probably several days down the road here, but we'll see you then. Okay, can I film? Thank you. Hang on 1 second. Well, hey guys, let me give you an update. So I got all the holes drilled in the concrete. Went as well as can be expected. This one right here just kind of kissed the rebar, so that's good. That was the only one. I missed the rebar and all the other ones, so I was worried that, my luck, I would, have a piece of rebar go through all 5 holes and just turn into a nightmare, but it didn't. So the holes are all nice and done, oversized. Now I've got to clean them really good. So got my brushes behind me, and then of course compressed air, and we'll vacuum it out and get them so they're nice and powder free. And then I'll get the threaded rod in with concrete adhesive. And while that's doing its magic, I've got the column on a pallet so I can get it out of the door, because it looks like we're going to have nice weather the rest of the week. So fingers crossed I can get this prepped. I'll get the I-beam outside, get the carriage outside, get those prepped, and hopefully I can shoot primer on all three tomorrow. Let that dry overnight, and then next day get some color on it. So that's where I'm at. I won't bother, showing me painting. I may take a couple still shots or something, and then I'll bring you guys back when we're bringing this thing in, and fingers crossed getting her bolted down. Well, got her primed. So happy to get this behind me. So everything is looking good. Just let it dry and cure overnight. I'll come back tomorrow and shoot some yellow paint on her. Just got wrapped up. Finished spraying her. Starting to look like a crane now. Good old safety yellow. There's the I-beam. So I'll let this dry for a day, and then we'll start assembling it. Exciting times, can't wait. Well, of course, just got set up. That's the way this whole week has been. Having to try to dodge afternoon rain showers. I haven't been able to get much done. As soon as I got this out here to try to enlarge some of the holes that aren't lining up on the threaded rod, it decided to pour. Guess we just have to wait it out. Touchdown. So been riding the struggle bus for about a day or so. Finally got her down. Even using the base as a pattern and drilling into the concrete with those masonry bits, the bit wants to kind of find its natural way to go, even though you try to keep it totally straight. So some of those are off, and then of course sticking out of the concrete several inches, that angle is multiplied. So trying to take as little as I needed to enlarge the holes, but finally got her sitting down good and got her pretty well dialed in. See how can you there you go. So she's straight that way and this way. Well, hang on, she's still trying to find herself. Alright, so we're about half a degree off that way, so I'll take that. But it's late. I've been going at this all day, so gonna get wrapped up and we'll come back tomorrow. I've got the 2x4 so I can build the frame around here, and I've got the self-leveling high strength grout, so we'll get that all in tomorrow, and then we'll just let her sit, and then we'll get the carriage on and the I-beam, and basically this would be done. Exciting. Just got to throw the chain hoist on and the trolley, and that'll be it. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. All right. Go ahead and get these charged. Well, come on, baby. What's your malfunction there, babe? I got a bad zert. See See if I can do this with you guys right in the way. Did squirt a little bit of grease already in the roller. Alright, I'll get them buttoned up. What you got? Show everybody your new football, huh? I mean, it's not even squeaking again. You only had it about 10 minutes. You killed it already? Did you kill the squeaker? Can I have it? I'll throw it. He's gonna be possessive for a while. You gotta let go of your football. Oh, kind of squeaks. All right, you ready? I'll just air mail this one. Pew. So, this is no problem, Daddy. I handle that. Now, if you heard that, we got our normal afternoon thunderstorm rolling in. All right, one more time, we'll get back to work. All right, let me go without the door. You ready? Good boy. All right, she's together. Hopefully the camera will be able to pick it up. How easy this thing moves. Oh, man, this is nice. At least I got the engineering on it correctly, I believe. So, doesn't take much at all. That bearing up there is so smooth. These rollers are working out good. So, next thing I need to do, I got to get the trolley and chain hoist up there, and then we'll try her out. Well, there you go, guys. So the trolley and the chain fall are on. A viewer named Carl reached out to me several months ago and said, hey, I've got a couple trolleys new in the box. Would you like one for your project? And I'm like, yeah, sweet. That'd be awesome. So thank you, Carl. I've got your trolley up there, and she seems to roll perfect. I did put the digital angle box on there, and going towards the office, it's about 0.4 of a degree, and leaning over here to the lathe is like 0.85, so less than a degree. So wherever we stick this thing, we should be good, and it should not want to go anywhere, you know, not follow the path of you know, the angle, which I would have screwed up, and you know, it would have been leaning. But since we got her nice and true within a degree, she'll stay put wherever. So project is done. The only thing left to do now, I think, is let's pick something up and see if it works. I can get the right chain. Might as well lift the big 4-jaw. Well, no creaks or pops, so that's good. Curious how it rolls. Yeah, so far so good. I am curious to see if we're getting any deflection, seeing that the trolley wants to roll to the end there, so. All right, we're at 1 degree, so just a smidgen. Well, I guess the very last thing to do, we should get my sticker on here since I built this thing. Corbell did not. See if I can get on there straight. All right, you guys see that? Cool. So I do have a brass tag that I want to stick underneath here with some information. All right, there you go. 1 jib crane. What a build, huh? So hopefully you guys will watch part 3. I saw that I had like 18,000 views for part 1, which is awesome. and then only about 2,700 of you watched part 2. So, you know, that's the dilemma we face as video creators, because, you know, if we drag the series out too long, you know, people just don't want to watch them. I don't know why. You think if everybody's interested in seeing the project, you know, come together, they'd want to see the, you know, the final product, but oh well, you know, it is what it is sometimes. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was, like I said, a little bit taxing, but glad to get it done. It's going to be really helpful. I did keep a running total of my materials, so it came out to about $1,200 to build this. Now this doesn't include the anchor, threaded rod, the bolts, the washers, the concrete grout, and, you know, doesn't include any of that. Basically just to build the crane itself. So I'm trying to compare it to how cheap I could buy that used Gorbel down in Texas. So they wanted, I think they dropped the price to $2,650, and then with tax, it comes out to close to $3,000 if I would have bought it. And then, you know, I got to pay freight, you know, LTL, truck freight. So if we just rounded it, say $1,000 for freight, it'd be like $4 grand to buy the Gorbel crane versus building this one for $1,200. So, you know, definitely worth it, but, you know, it was a lot of work, but in a little bit of a slow gap right now. I had a bunch of work come in in the spring, and I've had a couple projects come in, just didn't film them, but it's a little bit dry, so, you know, that provided the opportunity for me to get this knocked out. So that work just worked out as it is, so cool. Hey, Mr. Chaos, you know, he's got this new football. He won't leave me alone. So he always does it when I'm trying to video. All right, bud. But hey, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you hanging out and watching the series. Welcome all my new subscribers to the channel. I appreciate it. And if you're watching and not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up. Helps the algorithm. And with that, I'm not sure what the next project will be and how soon I'll get it out, but we'll get something done here. So anyways, take care, guys. We'll see you. Bye.